Hello, it's time for another video about the Project Pentium 4 machine. Now, as some of you may be aware, via Retro Machines Facebook group and via the Pentium forum, of which I moderate, there has been an update. And I do apologise for the time it's taken me to actually get this video out. However, we have, when I put up the post with a little teaser, unfortunately we had quite a storm and everything had to be turned off, so I didn't actually get a chance to be able to do this. So again, it's kind of rushed. First things first is I've swapped out the IBM screen for a 19-inch Dell screen. This one actually has a bit of a party piece with the fact that it can rotate, which is interesting, and I'll probably never use it, but you know, it's one of them things. Let's get on with the main event. We have a window. Now, before anybody says anything, yes, it's the wrong colour for the case. This was advertised as being this colour. However, unfortunately, when it was delivered, it turned out to be brushed silver. Now, I can't get the correct side panel, which is fine. It's not a problem. What I am doing is I'm in talks with a company about getting my original side panel water jet cut to create this aperture, and then, well, I'm hoping to get some clear perspex made up by using the perspex that's on here also as a template, and then I'll have exactly what I like. But for now I have to, well, live with this kind of. I'm living with it for the sake of this video, because I wanted to show you some more updates and that things are changing with the machine. But yeah, I'm not happy about it, and I've contemplated painting. However, this panel and the other side panel, they have kind of a textured feel, which I'm not even going to bother trying to get on camera because I don't think it's going to work. Suffice to say, it wouldn't match. Even if I painted all three panels at the same time, it wouldn't match. I have thought about powder coating, but for the sake of £25, it's easier to get my original panel water jet cut than it is to have these panels powder coated. Not only that, but also this top panel is riveted on, and I don't have a riveting gun anymore, so I'd have to buy yet more stuff that I'm probably going to use once to get that back on. So yes, we have a side panel. We also had a monumental problem recently with some bad memory. So the machine is now back on 2 gig of RAM. In fact, what I'll do is I'll take the side panel off, because there's yet more things, more pretty things to look at and whatnot. So yes, we've lost 2 gig of RAM. The water cooler is working beautifully, without issue at all, which I'm surprised about. However, I don't like the whole idea of the closed loop thing. So what we're going to do is we're looking to buy a reservoir. We want the reservoir to, when the side panel is on with the window, be on display inside the case. I could get one that fits in the 5¼ inch drive bays, but I don't want that. A cylindrical unit is not going to work in here. I have nowhere to mount it at all. One of the major issues is the radiator. There's 2 80mm fans at the front. The radiator is sat on the top one, because it wouldn't sit on the bottom one, as the bottom tank would have fouled on the case. That's got a push-pull configuration. There's actually an 80mm fan there, the radiator, and another 80mm fan. There's no room. So we want to try and get one that we can mount here, even if it means having to crack the Dremel out and drill some holes specifically to hold it in place. I don't have any problems with doing that. In terms of the case itself, I don't want to change from the Cooler Master ATCS. as a lot of people have said, and I thank you very much for the comments. Actually, you know, it's a pretty case. It really is. For this era of build, it is absolutely lovely. And you may have noticed that I have reorganised the drives. That's because I just couldn't tolerate the fact the DVD drive wasn't on the top. I don't know why. It's one of those things, but yeah, I've had to reorganise that. So yeah, we've had some issues, we've had some setbacks. Bearing in mind, as I say, we're in the process of getting this thing together, getting it ready to overclock the living hell out of it, to see just how far we can push the socket 478. Now, some people have been saying, oh, these parts don't match up, it's not correct for the year and things like that. No, I'll reiterate, you're missing the point. I don't know if that's down to my really bad way of explaining things via text-based chat or what's going on there, but let me just reiterate the point. This machine is to see how far we can push a socket 478. It's not about being period correct anymore, because there's no point, to be quite honest. That being period correct limits us quite badly. So, I mean, this is why we have such things as the Corsair CX750M up there. The reason being, it's a modular PSU. It's a lot more reliable than anything from the correct sort of year. Bearing in mind, anything from the correct sort of year is going to have quite a few miles on the clock. With it being a semi-modular power supply, because the only two hardwired cables are the 4-pin CPU power and the 24-pin system power, which you need anyway, so I have no problems with it being semi-modular. That's not an issue. But we were able to omit cables that we don't need. So in order for this to be as clean as possible, I do want to do some more cable organisation in the machine, because there's certain things that I'm not happy with. One of which being the serial ATA cables. You can see them, they're a bit of an eyesore. I want to get some extremely long serial ATA cables and hide them as best as possible, so maybe going down and underneath the motherboard tray. Okay, it means that the motherboard tray won't really be removable, but in the grand scheme of things, with the water cooler setup and everything else, it's not really removable as it is. Yes, for anybody who's confused, it is a removable motherboard tray. There is 4 thumb screws holding it in, you can slide it out. But the way in which we've configured the machine, the cable management we've done, and some other bits and pieces, removing the motherboard tray is not really an option anymore. It's nice that it is able to do it, but in our case it's not able to do it, if that makes any form of sense. The other thing is things like this, cables up here, which we need to try and make as flush as possible and whatnot. I am very seriously thinking about omitting the Audiology 2 sound blaster that's in here. There's a few reasons for that. I'm not going to go into it right now. One of the other changes that is very obvious, and you may have already been aware of, which I haven't touched upon yet, is we have removed the Zalman cooler from the video card. We have fitted a Thermotake Duo Orb, if that's how I'm saying it correctly, VGA cooler. The reason, VGA cooler, what an idiot, graphic card cooler. The reason being is that is actually pure copper. Well, pure enough anyway. The pad that sits on the GPU it's buff to a mirror shine. I genuinely can't see any tiny little surface scratches with the naked eye at all. And yes, it has made a hell of a difference. It's actually knocked off about anywhere between 10 to 13-ish degrees Celsius by having this on there. The only issue that I've got is it required another Molex. I've had to daisy chain the Molex to the video card power. It's not ideal, it needs changing, and I will get around to that as soon as possible. Now, few things. Oh, sorry, there's one more thing that's being added as well. We have got a blue LED light strip, which is going to go, I think, on this lip down here behind the motherboard tray to illuminate the sides. It's having a side panel on it. It's, you know, it's an old Pentium 4 build. lights and crazy crap was, you know, it was all the rage and whatnot. So yeah, why not go with the flow? I suppose we might as well. I'm personally not that bothered about it, and I'm not really keen on the idea, but I've been speaking to others who are involved in this project, and they're saying, well, you might as well. And I might as well, because hopefully I've turned the power on at the back, which I haven't, so let's correct that situation. I always do that, it's so annoying. The reason we're going for the blue LEDs is because that's why. Oh yes, there is a massive air leak in the, air leak. There's a massive pocket of air in the cooling system at the moment. Like I say, the machine is not set up at all yet, so please forgive certain things at the moment. It's really not ready to actually start kicking some ass. But yeah, there's the video card cooler, and yeah, it's fairly bright, to be quite honest. It's a little bit, well, I mean, it's a product of its time, and it's obnoxiously bright. So when the side panel is on, it's, well, it's, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It's really in your face at the bottom, but then it's really dark at the top. So we're just going to have the light in there to kind of show everything off. The other thing that we may be doing is we may be changing the Cooler Master logo that's on the pump, and we might change that to something custom for the project. Not 100% sure yet. Ideally, if I could, although I'm expecting some money through fairly soon, so and some of it's disposable, so what I may do is I may potentially, because the whole case is an aluminium construction. There's no plastic at all, to be quite honest. Apart, I think the feet have got a little plastic ring on them, but otherwise, and the power button, reset button are plastic. But other than that, I genuinely can't think of anything else. I may have missed something. I don't think so, but it is all aluminium construction. I could get the whole thing powder coated, and it's an idea that's been running around in my head, because the Corsair power supply is a black powder coat. It would be nice to black powder coat the lot. I don't want to get too far into colour coding the machine, because, you know, it was built to kind of be race car more than anything. At least that's the term that I'm using at the moment. But powder coating. See, the thing is the case is used. You know, we have got little marks and things. You can see at the bottom here. It's all scuffed and what. That's come up really well on the camera, actually. It's all scuffed and things. Getting it powder coated would certainly give it a new lease of life. And then with the water jet cut for the other side panel, I don't have to worry too much about there being any scratches from the water jet cutting process. So it's something to think about. In fact, I'm going to sling it out there as an idea for people to have a conversation about. Powder coating. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should get it powder coated? Should I do it all in a black powder coat? Should I leave this front? Well, to be quite honest, I'm thinking about leaving this part silver anyway, because we've got the Cooler Master logo, the ATCS logo. I've got these badges, which are, well, that badge especially is very, very, very hard to get. Yes, I do have some replacements, but I don't want to use the replacements unless I absolutely have to, because they're that hard to get. What I would do is this bezel that is removable, I'd get that powder coated in the same as the rest of the machine, so it didn't look out of place. But obviously we've got a lot of black things on here. We've got black hard drive bay, DVD drive, got a black pump, power supply, the surrounds for the fans are black. So having it powder coated might not be a bad idea. And I am very into black for the powder coat, but let me know what you think. In fact, I'd really like people to give me some really solid suggestions here, because I'm kind of at a loss It would be nice to have this machine not only kick some serious ass, but also at the same time look really good. One of the things I am thinking about doing is replacing the tubing from this clear tubing to a white tubing, because the Arctic fans that we've got are white fans. We've got this white badge. It'd be nice to have the white pipes. The Gigabyte motherboard that's in here may possibly get changed. I'm not 100% on that at the moment, but I can't say that it's not a possibility. It is a possibility. It may happen, and if it does, we'll probably be going along the lines of maybe an Asus board. Depends what I can find. I'm not going to compromise, so it's either got to be a really good board, or we'll stick with what we've got, because I know that this Gigabyte board that we've got in here, which for reference is a GA-8IPE1000-G revision 4, so anybody wants to go and look at that board, feel free. But it would be nice to get something a bit sweeter, and something that's going to tie in better with any colour coding or repainting of the case that we do. So there's another one to have a conversation about. But anyway, I want to try out this new monitor and have a bit of a laugh and play some Far Cry, I think, or at least try to, bearing in mind that the machine is still having one or two small fits, so that we need to get that sorted out. But anyway, I digress. Follow us on the Pentium forums. I will put a link down in the description. It would be absolutely awesome if you guys who are subscribed, people who are just watching this video and not subscribed, by the way, subscribe. That'd be really good as well. It'd be nice for people to join that forum and start getting some conversations going. So thank you very much for watching. Comment, again, subscribe, etc. And I will catch you all in the next video.